Oh, we're all gonna die.
Hey, welcome back, ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and we have pinpointed the exact moment in the Multiverse Saga when everything went wrong.
This? 3, 2, 1, you know I'm the hottest shoe.
No, not that.
Oh, you mean this?
The Illumawati?
No, not that either.
Or what then?
Antman should have died.
You thought you could win.
I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Don't get me wrong, I love Paul Rudd. Everybody loves Paul Rudd. That's his thing. And that's exactly why we should have seen Kang the Conqueror snap his handsome neck off in Quantumania.
Jeez, person, you got dark real quick there.
Yeah, it's dark, and that's exactly what Phase 5 needed. Phase 5 should be the Empire Strikes Back of the Multiverse Saga. This should be the phase where we are seeing the consequences of the death of He Who Remains in Loki Season 1, setting up this bloody multiversal war to come. We should be shaking in our boots every time Kang the Conqueror or one of his variants is even mentioned. Kang should make Thanos look like a little puppy dog.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Sorry, I just mean that Kang should be like the most menacing and terrifying villain the MCU has ever done. And Loki, the show, set that up perfectly.
I know it all. And I've seen it all.
The fear we see in Loki's eyes in the final moments of the Season 1 finale perfectly set up the arrival of Kang the Conqueror. An infinite number of evil warlords coming to wreak havoc on all of existence should be a pretty big deal. But then came Quantumania and Kang was underwhelming? I mean, don't get me wrong, the character is still very menacing and very well portrayed. Lines like these send chills down my spine every time.
I will kill your daughter in front of you, then make you relive that moment over and over again. And I will burn them out of time.
I mean, for the whole movie, Kang is built up as this terrifying figure. And then we get to see him get his ass kicked by a bunch of ants.
Well, technically it wasn't a bunch of ants. I mean, a bunch of ants damaged his console and then Ant-Man beat him in a fist fight.
Yeah, but that's my point. Kang loses in a fist fight with Ant-Man and the Wasp. And by the way, no disrespect to Ant-Man or the Wasp, but Kang is supposed to be a villain that can take on all the Avengers at once with his hand tied behind his back. So, seeing him get so easily defeated was really disappointing for a lot of fans.
That's it?
And look, I understand that in the quantum realm, Kang is supposed to be like way less powerful. The thing that makes Kang such a menacing threat is his ability to time travel and see attacks before they happen, and in Quantumania, he does not have any of his time travel abilities. But I'm sorry, that just is not a good enough excuse for Kang the freaking Conqueror being beat by the Ant family without one single fatality.
What about Murdoch?
And at least I died an Avenger.
Yeah. No.
Hey, person, you seem like you're in a real good mood today.
Thanks, Doug. I am in a really good mood. I've had a lot of anxiety lately about getting these Loki and MCU videos done, which has led to a lot of my bad anxiety habits popping up, like my facial twitches and stress eating.
Oh yeah, you know, I had noticed that you had stopped stress eating because there's all of a sudden more food around.
Yeah, dude, and I kicked my oral fixation habit by using Fume. They're the sponsor of this video.
Oh, is that a vape?
This is not a vape. It's not even electronic, and it does not have pods filled with potentially harmful chemicals. Instead, it uses these plant-based cores that are infused with natural flavors to create natural flavored air. I recently started using sparkling grapefruit, and it even freshens my breath.
Smells very nice.
Thank you, thank you. You see, Fume uses plants and behavioral science to help you trade out your negative habit for a positive one. Plus, it has adjustable airflow and is designed with these movable parts and magnets for fidgeting, giving your fingers a lot to do, which is very helpful for calming your anxiety. Fume makes switching easy and even fun. They have thousands of 5-star reviews from more than 100,000 customers who have used Fume to change their lives and switched when other solutions just did not work. So head to tryfume.com/ScreenCrush and use the code ScreenCrush to save 10% off when you get the Journey Pack today. The Journey Pack comes with 3 unique flavors and everything you need to finally be free of your bad habit. That's tryfum.com and use the code ScreenCrush to save an additional 10% off your order today. Now, back to what I was saying. When you're setting Kang up to be the new, bigger and badder Thanos of the next MCU saga, you have to keep optics in mind. And him being defeated in his first movie by a team of lower-level Avengers and some ants, it just is not a good look.
Kang's gone. You did it. Don't have to worry about that guy anymore.
Okay, so what should have happened?
Well, I think this fight between Kang and Ant-Man is great. It's really gruesome and it's an intense fight, so I'd leave all that pretty much the same. But it should have ended with Kang getting the upper hand. We should have seen Kang put Scott in a headlock and threaten to snap his neck, General Zod style, if Wasp did not hand over the power core for Kang's time chair.
The do what now? I haven't seen that movie in a while. I need a refresher.
The power core. It's basically the MacGuffin of Quantumania. It's the multiversal power core engine thing that gives Kang, and via his time chair, the ability to travel through the multiverse. And without it, he can't escape the quantum realm. And I actually think we may have seen the first prototype of that power core in episode 3 of Loki season 2.
The culmination of my life's work.
Anyway, we should have seen a heart-wrenching scene similar to this one between Star-Lord, Gamora, and Thanos in Infinity War.
You promised.
I told you to go right.
I love you more than anything.
I love you too.
Scott, gasping for breath, tells Hope to destroy the power core as Kang is demanding she hand it over. She stands there with tears rolling down her face and her wrist blaster pointed right at the core. She knows what she has to do but can't stand the thought of losing the love of her life. Kang taunts her with the promises of peace and the prosperity on a brand new timeline for her and her family.
I made a promise. Let me take you home.
But then, he grows tired of waiting and switches from empty promises to certain threats. Kang promises that not only will he rip Scott's spine out from his body, but he will travel to every universe in existence and do the same thing to every single Scott Lang there ever has been and ever will be if she does not hand over the damn core. This threat is when it becomes clear to Hope that she has no choice but to destroy the core because she can't allow this monster to escape. She then whispers, "I love you." And then Scott says, "I know." And then, boom, she blows up the power core. Kang lets out a rage-filled scream and spins Scott's head around 360 degrees in what would have been arguably the most gruesome death in MCU history. Kang then lunges for Hope and she shoots at him like we saw in the original cut of the film. She holds him back just long enough to close the portal back to the above world. This then traps Hope and Kang in the quantum realm. Now, just like her mother before her, Hope is trapped with Kang in the great unknown. Scott's daughter Cassie gasps as the portal closes. Hank and Janet attempt to reopen it, but they can't. We then cut back to the quantum realm where we see Kang drop to his knees in defeat. We see Hope crawl over to Scott's body and hold him as she cries. And it is in this moment that the audience becomes enraged with the new MCU big baddie, Kang the Conqueror, the Avenger killer, the Paul frickin' Rudd killer. No longer do we just hear that Kang has killed a bunch of Avengers from other universes, but now we've actually seen him kill one of our own. We then see Kang rise from his knees and approach Hope. He asks, "Was it worth it?" She looks up to him and says, "You're trapped in here with me now and you'll never get out." And that's when Kang says, "Oh, no, Miss Van Dyne, you are my ticket home." Now, Kang knows Janet Van Dyne very well from their time together in the quantum realm, and he knows that she will stop at nothing to find her way back into the quantum realm to rescue her daughter. So now, all he has to do is wait. It's in this moment that the Wasp becomes Kang's quantum prisoner. We'll see her placed in a holding cell just like the one we saw Scott and Cassie in, but it's here where things get even darker.
Darker?
Yep. Once Hope is put in her cell, we'll see Kang's guards drag Scott's dead body into the cell with her.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, remember how Kang threatened Scott with this?
I will kill your daughter in front of you, then make you relive that moment over and over again in time, endlessly.
Well, once Scott's body is placed in her cell, Kang walks in. Hope asks Kang if he's going to make her watch his body rot away. And Kang says no, and then he has something better in mind. And then, with the wave of his hand, we see Scott's body begin to move. Hope looks on in horror as Scott is essentially reanimated. We hear him speak his final words, "I know," and then we see his neck snap all over again. His brutal death is then repeated over and over again in front of Hope. Kang then says, "Let's hope for your sake and mine that your mother doesn't take long to return." And then he walks away, leaving Hope to watch Antman die again and again and again.
Person, that's really dark or messed up. Are you okay? You seem like you're really trying to process something right now.
Buddy, look, I know it's gruesome, but that's the point. We need to dial it up to 11 if we're gonna top a genocidal monster like Thanos. Quantumania was Marvel's opportunity to take a happy, joyful, beloved character like Scott Lang and have him brutally murdered by their new big bad, getting audiences pumped for the Avengers to roll in and avenge his death.
Avengers!
But look, I get it. Paul Rudd's popular, and the MCU has lost a lot of its heavy hitters like Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr., and Scarlett Johansson. So I get wanting to hang on to your big movie stars like Paul Rudd for a little longer so they can be in the new Avengers movies. But remember, there's another Ant-Man that Kang could have killed. Michael Douglas's Hank Pym is the original Ant-Man of the MCU.
Just a tall tale.
And this film would have been the perfect time to give Hank Pym a hero's death. Have him suit back up in a classic Ant-Man costume and go toe-to-toe with Kang. Hell, you could even have Kang say something like, "Now you're an Ant-Man I remember," implying that he's fought versions of Hank from other timelines. And then you have Michael Douglas quit back in a way that like only Michael Douglas can.
I take it you didn't have that tech available for me.
No, I did.
And then give us a badass fight scene of Hank Pym shrinking, jumping, punching, doing all of the Ant-Man stuff that he trained Paul Rudd to do in the first fight. All the cool Ant-Man fight moves that he's pioneered.
An Ant-Man. That's what they called you.
And then, before even going into the fight, we can have a scene where Hank acknowledges that he can't beat Kang, but that he can hold him off long enough for his family to take the power core and go back home. They'd all argue at first that they weren't leaving him behind, and then we could get a great exchange between Hank and Scott, where they set aside their playful bickering and Hank tells Scott that he is proud of him, and that he's really glad that Scott broke into his house all those years ago. And think how poetic it would have been for Janet to have been trapped in the quantum realm all that time with Kang, but then for this film to end with Hank being the one who was trapped there with Kang. Hank's entire career has been studying the quantum realm, and Hank had always dreamed of going there. Now, while Kang, on the other hand, only ever dreamed of escaping the quantum realm, it'd be so fitting for Hank's final adventure to take place in the depths of the quantum realm against a character like Kang, who's been trapped there for so long. And look, I don't hate the Ant family, I don't want to see anyone in the Ant family die, but somebody needed to die in that movie at the hand of Kang, and Kang should not have been defeated. We all know that this specific Kang isn't really dead, and we're definitely going to see him return in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. I really don't see them introducing another Kang the Conqueror for that movie, so it's almost certainly going to be this same Kang returning. So why give us the fake out death? Just have him escape at the end of the movie, but tease that he'll be able to return at some point. But for the love of God, don't show him getting whooped so easily.
Dang, person, you are really passionate about this.
Oh, buddy, it was frustrating to see Marvel make, such a basic mistake. Kevin Feige could teach a masterclass on how to build a cinematic universe. I mean, the Infinity Saga is one of the most impressive feats in, all of movie making and storytelling history. So to see them dropping the ball so hard with the Multiverse Saga pretty much from the jump has been really sad to see. But on the other hand, Loki Season 2 has been great, and I think that a course correction is on the way. We've covered recent reports regarding shows like Daredevil being overhauled by Feige himself, and with Bob Chapek out of the job and Bob Iger back as CEO, Kevin Feige seems to be able to run things the way he used to, with both creative control and quality control. So I'm hopeful that there are good things to come.
And you're hopeful that Ant-Man gets his neck snapped in Kang Dynasty, aren't you? Just admit it, you hate Paul Rudd, don't you? You hate Paul Rudd.
I don't hate Paul Rudd. In fact, I love Paul Rudd. He's one of the best parts of the current MCU. But we gotta show just how menacing Kang can be, and I think that means less telling.
Do you know how many Avengers I've killed?
And more doing, more showing. As of this point, we've really just heard about how scary Kang is with shows like Loki and films like Quantumania, but I'm ready to see just how terrifying this time-traveling tyrant can be. So let me know, do you think Kang should have killed one of the Ant-Men in Quantumania? Is it too late for the new Thanos to stop being a joke in the MCU? And special shout out to the writer of this video, Mr. Colton Ogburn. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below or at either of us on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe, smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.